Welcome to Sideline Judgment. My name is Sergio.
My name is Tyler.
And today we are talking all about the 56-0 thrubbing that the Gators handed Vanderbilt, thus crushing their bowl eligibility dreams that they slightly had. We're going to go in through rapid reactions in a wild weekend in college football. We, of course, are going to review...
Stuff went down this weekend.
Stuff definitely happened. We're, of course, going to review our 5-wide and our 2-point conversion. And might be a little bit of changing of the guard this week.
I have no comment.
But before we celebrate and make me happy, we got to go ahead and talk about some sad stuff, both in the world of college football and in my personal NFL
We're going to dip back into the little personal NFL well.
Yeah, we will. Let's go ahead and talk about what the biggest news of the day. Rest in peace, Chad Morris's Arkansas tenure. Can we get a moment of silence for him, please? Thank you very much. It didn't end well, but I don't think it started
poetic.
Well.
It's poetic the way it ended.
Yes, it did. Chad Morris is out as the head football coach at Arkansas following a destruction at the hands of Western Kentucky. That makes two group of 5 teams that they've lost to this year. That is Western Kentucky.
And four in total in his 2 years there.
And 4 in his 2 years. He also did not win a conference game in either of his playing seasons at the helm.
His only other two options this year were going to be LSU and Missouri. So
which were not
probably wasn't going to happen at all.
No, it was not. Tyler, what do we think about this happening now? And does the Willie Taggart firing? Did the Willie Taggart firing last week at FSU expedite this process?
I think so, because you have, in a way, it's a lot of it. I think has to go with now that FSU is getting out there with their coaching search. Like you're going to have a hard time competing against FSU to get a coach to come to you.
Right.
So you got to get out there now. And additionally, because I think that both, like I know that my one of the big candidates for Arkansas is Mike Norvell. One of the ones that they like, and it's possible that he's an FSU candidate now. So you got to get out there, got to get ahead of it. I do still think that less than 2 full seasons is a hard time, too short of amount of time to evaluate a head coach.
Agreed.
Felt that way for Willie Taggart. I still feel this way for Chad Morris. But again, and I still felt this way about Willie Taggart. If you can tell that it's just not going to get better, why wait?
I get both sides
with
of
them
it.
firing McElwain in his 3rd season. It's like usually you would finish out this season and then like figure out then he has like a referendum year his 4th year. But I mean, in Scott Strickland's credit, he was just like, this is not going to get better.
Right.
Like, and Florida has worked out for the better for it, and I think that will happen for Chad. I think that'll happen for Arkansas. It is poetic that they lost Western Kentucky. We outlined it last week that because of the Western Kentucky quarterback, Ty Story was at Arkansas last year and transferred because the Arkansas coaching staff did not think that he was good enough to start for them.
Right.
So
poetic that he goes into Fayetteville and crushes those dreams.
Oof, yeah.
Excuse me.
It's certainly something.
All right, before we move on, I want to know, do you have anyone besides, like you said, Mike Norvell, that you think could possibly be a realistic target? Like, yeah, they're going to do the due diligence of calling Urban. They're going to do all those things. But just because they call Urban doesn't mean Urban's going to pick up the phone. So,
Urban Meyer at Arkansas would be absolutely freaking hilarious to me.
I mean, for the content, do it. But for anything else, no. It doesn't work.
I think that, so basically, we mentioned Mike Norvell. That may or may not happen because he's probably going to get looked at by a lot of other coaches. There's always the Gus Malzahn coming home to Arkansas thing. I highly doubt that's going to happen, unless Auburn decides to fire him, which I don't think would either be a good idea.
No, I don't think.
And I don't really see that happening, but we'll see.
Right.
And then beyond that, it's tough to say. There's a lot of different ones here and there, but I think that one of the things you have to be wary of is that Arkansas may or may not want to dip back into the AAC coach pool because that's how they got Chad Morris, that it did not work out. Granted, I just think that maybe they just picked the wrong one. I think that Bill Clark at UAB, which is Conference USA, and then Billy Napier at ULL, and are all going to be good coaches. You have to get a coach that's going to be able to build this program.
Yeah.
I think Bill Clark and Billy Napier are both going to be SEC head coaches at some point.
Okay.
Probably at the lower level Mississippi schools or for Arkansas, and I think those would be good hires. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the under-the-radar candidates that I would say. Okay.
I like that. I like those options. I like those shouts. For everyone wondering, no, Lane Kiffin is not going to Arkansas. Let's move forward.
Oh yeah, I didn't even say that.
I just had to say it, just for the record. Just the official sideline judgment position.
It's the official Sergio position.
I think we both share the sentiment.
I mean, I really don't think that he would go to Arkansas. But yeah, okay.
Okay.
I would love to see it. It would be awesome.
It would. It would be
I'd watch
hysterical.
Every Arkansas game.
I would not like to see it, but it would be hysterical. Let's move forward. Just can you give me a minute? Can you give me a minute?
As many minutes as you need, Sergio.
So about a half an hour ago, the Dolphins beat the Colts in Indianapolis. Granted, they beat Brian Hoyer. They didn't beat Jacoby Brissett.
Which, by the way, as a Jags fan, I thank you.
You're welcome. Here's my thing. Brian Flores is coaching his tail off. Brian Flores is taking a team it's a CFL roster with literally no talent and is having them actually play good football. Don't tell me coaching doesn't matter. We are the least penalized team in the league. We are extremely disciplined, and we do things.
It's also really hard to be the least penalized team when you're also really bad.
Exactly. Like I truly believe Brian Flores spent 17 years in the Patriots coaching organization, and it really is paying off. Like, he really did learn from Bill Belichick, and I think that was the best thing that was probably right now showing that it's the best thing the Dolphins have done in the past 20 years maybe. But going back on that, what are we doing? If we're going to compete and win, then don't trade away all of our good players and take assets. When you trade away our players and you take assets for them, what you're telling us is forget the season because we're tanking. We're going to reload next year. We're gonna put some tools in. Expect to be mediocre the year after, or next year, and then the year after we're going to maybe add those last few pieces that we need, and we're going to start developing them so that in 3-4 years we can compete for the AFC East title and we can make a playoff run. And that's all we're asking. But be consistent. That's my problem. Are we tanking or are we competing? Even we got rid of all the stuff that we had because we said it's time to hit a reset. We are done being mediocre. We are literally the most mediocre football team in the 21st century. Look up the numbers. Up until last season, we were a literal 500. We won the same amount of games that we lost. A literal 500. So what
it's kind of hard to do.
It's very difficult to do. And so how in the world are we trying to hit the reset to not be mediocre again? And then in the process of hitting the reset, we're mediocre in doing that. I don't understand. I'm so frustrated with this organization. And it sucks because these guys are playing their tails off and they're actually doing wonderful. And we are finding the diamonds in the rough in this group, and I love it. And Brian Flores is a phenomenal head football coach, and I hope that he stays like Belichick for 30 years because he's still young, and I love it, and he understands the culture, and they're really adopting the Miami Heat aspect of culture in their organization, and I love it. But can we just be on the same page here? Because now we win another game. Thankfully, the Jets won another game, so we're still, I think, 4th or 5th pick. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, one thing you have going for you is that all the other bad teams seem to be winning games too.
Not the Bengals.
I mean, the Bengals are clearly the worst, but
But none of these other teams tried to lose. We were actively getting rid of our roster. It is the most
not even the Bengals are trying to lose.
It is the most Miami Dolphins thing in the world for us to bring in a head coach that is really good and able to work with these bad players. No offense to these NFL players, obviously, because they're better than all of us. But not up to par players, and then find a way to just mess it up. So what are we doing here? And also, the Steelers keep winning, and Minkah Fitzpatrick had yet another defensive touchdown today. So what are we doing? At this point, we're going to have the 6th overall pick, the 23rd, and the 28th. And what was it all for? Because that's not going to turn it into a franchise quarterback. That's not going to turn it into a cornerstone offensive lineman. That's not going to turn it into Chase Young. So what are we doing?
Well, I don't know. I can't wait for you guys to get Justin Herbert and get Ryan Tannehill 2.0.
I threw my laptop last week, and I think I'm contemplating jumping off the second story of my apartment.
Well, we got to finish recording first.
All right. I'll put a hold on it.
Yeah, so my condolences. Jaguars had a bye week this week, so I wasn't subjected to any sort of pain or joy, honestly. It just kind of was. But the Colts lost.
Yeah,
which
to
is
us.
Great. Yeah, I understand, but thank you for that. You don't understand. They were leading our division.
I know.
And
it's a conference loss, so I get it.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I just need. This sounds terrible, but I need Nick Foles to have an epiphany and give back the starting job to Gardner Minshew, one drive into the game.
Like the good man he is.
Yeah. He probably won't, but I mean, it's a good problem to have for the Jaguars, but we'll see. Anyway,
I'm done talking about
my condolences to you. I'm sorry your team won.
I just want to say,
snatching victory from the jaws of defeat.
I just want to say, apart from the Browns, I think we are the most tortured fan base in the NFL.
Have you met the San Diego Chargers?
You mean the Chargers that made a playoff run last year, that have had a franchise quarterback for 15 years, that had LaDainian Tomlinson?
And have done nothing with having a franchise quarterback and have the worst injury luck in the NFL, and they left their stadium that they were at, and now they are even considering going to London, and now they're playing in a soccer stadium, which, no disrespect to soccer stadiums, but they're an NFL team.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Just talk to poor Bucs fan Renfro about his second favorite team, which is the Chargers.
And his first favorite's the Bucs, so that doesn't help.
Well, the Bucs are tortured too.
But he has seen his team win a Super Bowl in his lifetime. Was he 5? Yes, but
he saw it.
He saw it. I don't want to hear it from him. I don't want. No offense, Tyler Renfro, but I don't want to hear it.
Okay, let's move on.
God, it's frustrating me, Dolphin. All right, let's talk college fantasy real quick before we get into these games.
Do we have to?
Yeah, we do, because I beat Raul.
Whoa.
I brought down the Lion, which was wonderful. He is no longer undefeated. I ended up beating him 255 to 206. I had a really good week. He had a bunch of players on bye. He had one player give him a goose egg. It really worked in my favor. This is great because we're going into the standings, right? So this upcoming week is the final week of the regular season. We are 8 teams in our league, so the top 4 make the playoffs. As it stands, that victory moved me from 4th place to 3rd place, which means that I don't have to play Raul. If this holds, we would go into the playoffs, and I would not have to play Raul in the semifinals, which means it gives me a great shot to be in the championship game 2 years in a row, which would, by default, make me the best college fantasy player in the past 2 years, on average.
I mean, unless you don't win a championship.
I probably won't, because I'll probably reach Raul later, and he is absolutely dominating all of us this year. So
yeah, it's only 2 years in the league, so I had a great year. Well, it's only 2 years to the league. I had a great year last year. I'm not having a good year this year. I lost 287 to 268. I put up Brock Purdy had 60 points. Trevor Lawrence had 44. Yikes. Devontae Smith had 36 points because he's a god.
He is amongst men, yes.
And I had really good numbers, but Greer's Cocaine, which is second in the league, one of my coworkers, is he's just better. So,
he is.
Sometimes you win some, you lose some. This is not a good team this year, but we got a rivalry game coming up next week.
I was going to say, it's the Sideline Judgment Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Sideline Judgment Classic. Last game of the regular season. Are you...
It's the annual Birdman hand rub game.
Annual Birdman hand rub. Second one. We play twice a year, so...
I want to beat you so bad, it might not matter at all, but if somehow I knock you out of the playoffs, I would, I'm sorry, I love you, man, but I would laugh so hard.
I know.
I feel that you would be the same with me. So.
I would. All right, enough of these quick hits. We got to talk about some actual football that happened.
Okay, fine.
Do we need to talk about Vandy, Florida? Be realistic with me.
We can just have small statements. Florida avoided a hangover.
They took
their Advil. They hydrated. Mm-hmm. They had the Gatorade. They did their push-ups.
Ate a good meal.
We had that Waffle House when they were still drunk to adjust the stomach while you're sleeping.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Wake up feeling great. Florida wins 56-0 against Vanderbilt. And did you see that a Vanderbilt cornerback said after the game? He's just I know they're not 56 points better than us. I know that for sure. I was
but we are.
Sure? Are you sure? Because on the field and my eyes say otherwise.
Yeah, no, you guys are bad.
Florida avoided any sort of Georgia hangover and dominated, especially in the third quarter and the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
It was a slow first quarter.
Yeah, slow first half, but I'm just glad that we took care of business. To the Gator fans that 25 minutes into the game are writing off the team, you should know how this team is by now. Like, this is not a team. And does it suck? Yes, it sucks. But, like, we need to make sure that we level expectations and be more level-headed, you know?
They won 56-0.
No, that's what I'm saying. That, like, people are like, how are we only up 14 against Vandy at halftime? This team sucks. Blah, blah, blah. Calm down. Calm down.
Football is a 4-quarter game.
Football is a 4-quarter.
There was a period in the third quarter where Florida scored on, I believe, 3 straight plays.
Mm-hmm.
It
was 2 touchdowns in 3 plays.
To
start
and then
the second
on top
half.
of that, a defensive touchdown.
Exactly, and it was to start the second half.
Vandy didn't even look like they belonged in the same, not in the SEC, in FBS against Florida.
Mm-hmm. Right.
More that, a lot of that has to say with what kind of team Vanderbilt is. Mm-hmm. But, good on Florida. They avoided the hangover and they took care of business. Yeah. That's all I really have to say.
I'd like to know, like, was Evan feeling okay? And I'm being serious. Like, I'm not, like, trying to be funny.
I don't know.
He wasn't kicking off. I was listening to the game. I listened to the first half of the game on the radio because I was out. I was buying winter clothes because I need that stuff now. So
could never be me. I literally went to the beach today.
Awesome, but I would never say could never because you never know where you're gonna.
Yeah, that's a lie. It probably will be me in like a couple years.
Yeah. So I went and I was listening to it, and Mike was like, he was like, this is weird by McPherson because he hasn't had a touchback the whole game. It was like already like 4 kickoffs or something. And they were both wondering, like, is he okay? And then he missed a field goal, which is very unlike him. It was a 40-yarder, and it's not like the distance-wise. He just really shanked it. And I don't know. I just hope he's okay and all that stuff happens. I really don't have much else to say.
Maybe just had an off day.
Yeah, that's what I feel.
No.
I don't have much else to say.
I quite literally have nothing else to say. I like the helmets, like the white helmets.
I did. I like the white, blue, white. I like that look.
Yeah, I like that look. It's clean.
Alrighty. Let's move forward to our rapid reactions. With rapid reactions, we will spend a maximum of 1 minute per game. And, yeah, we just try to get kind of the gist of what happened in the game. Tyler, this week, you saw a little more closely. Clearly, the game of the week will be in our 5-wide section. But let's go ahead and talk about these other fun games.
A lot of the big games this week will be in our 5-wide section. Yeah. But we had some good stuff coming on.
Yeah, a few bowl eligibility things to talk about in rapid reaction. So, Tyler, is that 1 minute loaded up on your timer?
Yes, sir, it is.
All right, my friend. Let us begin in 3, 2, 1, dale. Can we get a shout-out to Lovie Smith?
Black Santa for the win, baby. Illinois is bowl eligible. Down 28-3.
Well done.
They come back and win the game against Michigan State. Mm-hmm. And I saw a tweet by Bill Connolly about this. And it's like, you go back and you look at how Illinois made the comeback. It's like they did literally everything wrong.
Incredible.
Like they don't score off of a turnover in the red zone. They have a touchdown pass by accident.
It's incredible.
Stuff like that. And, but you know what?
Everybody gets a bowl game in their stocking.
Everybody, if they don't play, like what you said, if they don't play on Christmas, somebody needs to get fired.
It's going to be a problem. They might not be able to because Lovie Smith will have to be out delivering gifts.
No, that's Christmas Eve.
Yeah, but do you really want a really tired?
But how does that affect the game plan?
How's the coaching go into that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the best part, Illinois' next 2 games are Northwestern and I don't know what the other one is, but Northwestern.
Dub.
So they're gonna win 7 games this year.
All right, way to go, Illinois. Let's move on to a team that really didn't need any more motivation before the college football playoff rankings listed them at 5, and that's Clemson. They
just a mere 45-point shellacking.
This wasn't just casual, just not even bothered. This was a game that I forgot existed, as most of Clemson's games this season.
It was the national ABC night game.
Why?
I don't know, but. It's just I don't even know, but they're probably.
Can you imagine Kirk Herbstreit calling this game? He's sitting there like, why am I calling this game? He's got 5 TVs in the booth, and Fowler will say something,
but what's going on?
In front of him. Yeah, and he's like, right, Herbie, and Herbie's silent for a second, Oh, yeah. Sure. Sorry, I was distracted. I was watching, a much better game in Iowa State, Oklahoma, but whatever.
Here's the thing: Clemson has been dominating for a long time this year,
Uh-huh.
but now they're dominating and they look super clean.
Mm-hmm.
So
It looks nice. Shout out to Clemson. Keep going.
yeah, shout out them.
Tune out the
All
noise.
right.
Rat poison.
Continuing.
Rat poison. Ohio State obliterates Maryland and makes it look like a basketball score, even without Chase Young.
Which begs the question: if they had Chase Young, would they have shut out Maryland?
Yes.
All right. Okay. I don't have anything else to say.
Did we have anything to say? We haven't talked about Chase Young yet.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. Yeah, he's suspended at the time.
He's being held out as a precaution for Ohio State. He's being held out because according to him on Twitter, he says that he accepted a loan from a family friend, which he then paid back in full. And the NCAA is saying that was inappropriate and this and that. So they held him out from this game. Kirk Herbstreit said on game day that he's expecting them to NCAA to give them a 4-game suspension based on the amount of money that the fine was, or that the loan was, I'm sorry, and that he expects them to appeal, and they will probably settle in on 2 games, which it shouldn't be any games, but that's because the NCAA is wilding out.
Yeah, basically. I mean, you covered it.
Yeah. So that's just for those not aware. Chase Young, honestly a Heisman finalist favorite, a favorite to be at least a finalist.
Yeah, I mean,
right? This was pre Joe Burrow, but we'll get to that later on.
Justin Fields has got to be the quietest elite quarterback I've ever seen.
Yeah,
like it's sort of everything, hype, everything.
It's because he's not bowl eligible. I mean, not bowl eligible, eligible for the draft.
Yeah, I mean, and even like Trevor Lawrence. I mean, Trevor Lawrence at least had what he had last year, but nobody's really been talking about Trevor Lawrence.
No, because Trevor Lawrence hasn't had that, like, the few big games on TV that he had were earlier in the season when people were paying attention to Clemson before they got into the joke that is their conference play. And Trevor Lawrence hasn't really had that moment to be able to, like, prove to people, oh, I'm still here. So we'll just have to wait for the playoffs when he's up on that big stage again, because we all know that people look at the games, but they don't watch the games. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. All right, moving on.
Kansas State, you were so close.
Oh,
you were so
there.
close.
You had it.
You could have horns down them. You could have horns down them.
You had a 14-point lead, and then you just let Sam Ehlinger beat Sam Ehlinger.
Why would you do that?
How are you gonna do that?
Oh no, baby, what is you doing?
Yeah.
No, don't like it.
Speaking of teams that almost had it,
woo,
the UCF Knights.
Let me just say this.
They lost to a 2-7 Tulsa team
that
is now 3-7.
To the best 3-7 team in the country.
No, by far the best 3-7 team in the country, and we don't mean that as a joke.
No,
Tulsa has almost beaten 3 teams.
Yeah, and it's Memphis, SMU.
The literal hand of God made them lose to Memphis.
Yeah, they almost beat Memphis. They almost beat SMU. Like they were serious. Like
they were gonna get somebody.
Yeah, they were gonna get someone, and unfortunately, it was UCF on Friday night on the road.
Did you see how they lost this game?
I did, and I texted you immediately, and I said, please tell me you saw the end of that game. What was the play call? What in God's name were they doing?
They had 12 men on the field on defense.
How?
In a 4th down stop that they got. I don't get it.
No, and offensively, they were not calling the right plays.
No, offensively, they were kind of all over the place.
Hey, real quick, before we keep going, can I pause you real quick? I'm getting a text message from one of my friends, Dolphin fans. He texted me, Minkah Fitzpatrick since he got traded. 5 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, and 2 touchdowns.
You hate to see it.
Yeah.
Because not only did he trade him away, but it's helping them win games.
Yeah. Which is messing up
your draft
pick. Anyway, sorry, I'm a sadist.
By the way, there was a Blake Bortles sighting today in the Rams.
So I heard. I was watching the Dolphin game, but I heard.
All right, look how we got here.
Look how we got here. Moving forward, FSU beats Boston College, and yes, you in parentheses here you put looking better than they have all year. That was the best FSU performance of the season.
They actually look like a good football team.
Yeah, it's kind of like all the talent.
Granted, Boston College has a terrible defense.
Yeah, it's like all the talent that they recruited at the skill positions. That from the state of Florida that we know are actually good players. It's like they just let them do their thing, a concept, a theory.
I mean, my coach would have done that a while ago.
My coach would have done that years ago. But it is.
Oh well. But yeah, this is great. They're going to get fake confidence going into Florida FSU.
You'll love to see it.
Quick before we move on, quick shout out. They play Alabama State this upcoming week, and one of the reporters of the station that I work at, Kayla Tucker, is an Alabama State alum. She's going to go cover the game. So
we're pulling for the upset, baby.
Yeah, I'm rooting for it.
Of course, baby. You know. Moving forward, Virginia beats a plucky and improving Georgia Tech. The scoreline of this game, I didn't see a single second of this game, and I didn't see a single highlight, but I looked at the box score. Oh my God, Georgia Tech was moving.
They scored like 3 60-yard touchdown passes.
Yeah, they were moving.
I think they found a quarterback, and I mean, I'm compiling a list in my head. We'll go through it more as we get closer to the offseason of teams now that now are going to be a problem next year.
Yeah.
And the two leading candidates is if Matt Campbell stays, Iowa State is going to be a problem next year.
Uh-huh.
And Georgia Tech is going to be a problem next year.
Mm-hmm.
They look better than I thought they would all year.
Mm-hmm.
And
they look ahead of schedule.
He's recruiting that area, and it's oof.
Yeah, and he's good. He's a good coach.
He's a great coach.
Oh man. I think.
But good on Virginia for actually sticking with it and winning a game.
You think Calvin Johnson looks at this offense and is like, ugh.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what he looks like.
Moving on, Miami shapes up against Louisville, ended up scoring a school record 6 touchdown passes, ties the ACC record for most touchdown passes in a game by a quarterback by the name of
Jaron Williams.
Jaron Williams, baby, who we
wild of him to decide to be a good quarterback all of a sudden.
Crazy, a concept. But we thought coming out of the Miami game for us at the beginning of the year, we thought that he would have a good season, and it's looking that at the very least he's putting the effort in and is actually showing the potential of the good quarterback he can be. I'm not saying Miami's going to be...
He's still a redshirt freshman. So
right, exactly. He's got time to grow, and I'm not saying Miami's going to be a problem next year. I don't think so. They may improve, but I think he is going to lock up that starting role because N'Kosi Perry, we kind of see what we have through him. He's a redshirt freshman.
We know what N'Kosi Perry is.
Exactly. So it's nice to see him improve in that sense. Clay Helton is doing Clay Helton things. He is just saving his behind left and right. He ends up winning on the road.
It is honestly amazing how he keeps doing this.
I don't get it. He goes.
We talked about it earlier this year. It's like, how does Clay Helton keep doing this? For every time it looks like, all right, well, if he loses this game, they're definitely going to fire him.
Yeah.
And he keeps winning those games. Then he'll lose. Then he'll get like a little bit of goodwill, and he'll lose the other games.
Yeah.
Like he's not going to survive the season, but this could have been a tarmac game the way it was for Lane Kiffin.
Yep.
And it wasn't.
Ends up going into Tempe and getting the win on the road. You'd love to see it.
In fairness, Jaden Daniels did not play.
In fairness, yes.
He was hurt, and on the top of that, USC almost let Arizona State win. So
yeah,
I mean, this team is still not that good.
Yeah.
But
Urban Meyer is going to inherit a pretty decent football team at USC next year. It's going to be great.
Not unless James Franklin does it first.
I don't know.
Or PJ Fleck maybe.
PJ Fleck would be a better shout. But we'll talk about PJ Fleck later on in the pod. Don't you worry.
Yeah. I guess we will.
Tennessee's going bowling, maybe. Probably going bowling. I'm not gonna say because they have 2 games left in the season. I don't know who they play next week. But the week
I'm going to pull up the schedule real quick. You keep talking.
Okay, I don't know who they play next week, but they finish the season against Vanderbilt, so we know that that's going to be a dub. So that's going to have them with 6 wins. Could they get to 7? Who do they have left?
They currently have. They just won at Kentucky. They have to go at Missouri in 2 weeks, and then Vanderbilt at home.
Just be Kentucky at Missouri. Depends on which Missouri team shows up.
It depends on if Kelly Bryant's playing.
Yeah, but he's playing next week against us. Yes,
but he could get injured again. I don't trust them to win any game that he is not the quarterback of.
Agreed. All right, maybe they'll get to 7.
But they might be 7-5.
You know what I want?
Ow!
You know what I want and what Raul told me today, and I texted you.
Yeah.
Tennessee FAU in a bowl game.
That would be amazing.
Oh, man.
Last one.
All right, America's nightcap, our Rainbow Warriors. Hawaii is bowl eligible.
They won a game 42-40 over the San Jose State Spartans, a plucky team.
The entire country is going to be able to see Cole McDonald in his long-haired, blonde-dreaded, gunslinging beauty. I cannot wait.
Cannot wait.
Cannot wait.
That's so great. All right.
That is Rapid Reactions. let us get to these games. All right, Tyler, we're at a half an hour. We got about 20 minutes left on this pod. Do you mind if I start off? Thank you very much.
Go ahead.
In our 5 wide, first game that we talked about, we had Penn State on the road heading into Minneapolis to play the Minnesota Golden Gophers at 12 o'clock on ABC. This should have been the evening game. I'm just saying.
Oh, definitely.
And they end up winning. Minnesota wins at home 31-26 with, honestly, one of the best wide receiving performances by a wide receiver core in a while. Like, wow. PJ Fleck called a phenomenal football game, and the Penn State defense was missing entirely in the first half. They came back a little bit in the second half. They reappeared. But the first half, they were nowhere to be seen. It was incredible. It was wild.
Minnesota averaged 17 yards a pass in this game.
That's insane.
And if they didn't start trying to run clock with 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter, they probably could have had more.
Yeah.
I am so impressed by what Minnesota did.
Yeah, they had a phenomenal.
They did let Penn State back in the game a little bit. Penn State could move the ball on offense, but Penn State's problem is that they're too player dependent. That sounds weird, but Penn State is basically just dependent on Pat Fryermuth, the tight end, KJ Hamler, their electric wide receiver, and their running backs to just do stuff.
Right.
It's not like I don't even know any other Penn State wide receiver's name other than KJ Hamler.
Yeah, no, and it's really not relevant because the majority of their air game goes through him. Listen, I think this game. I saw most of the second half. I think this game is a statement for PJ Fleck. I don't want to say it's a statement for Minnesota. It's a statement for PJ Fleck because PJ Fleck is going to be a name thrown around in a lot of jobs this season. And hey, maybe their Rose Bowl bid is alive. Minnesota goes to a Rose Bowl.
Interesting.
Well, because the Big Ten.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah, because we're assuming Ohio State is going to be in the playoff, so then they would have to send the next.
And they'll be higher ranked than Penn State, likely.
They'll be likely higher ranked. They'll have a head-to-head victory. They still got to play Wisconsin, who's probably the other team.
They still got to play Iowa too.
They still got to play Iowa. It's a good football team, and they still got to play Wisconsin. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We may have to pay some actual attention to the Big Ten championship game if Minnesota ends up being able to go undefeated up to that point.
I mean,
could you imagine?
Whatever you say.
PJ Fleck's going to be rowing the boat all the way to the bank and all the way to Pasadena, California.
At this point, I would bet that they're going to the Rose Bowl.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be great. Tyler, who'd you pick in that game?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, I do. So you picked Penn State. I picked Minnesota with confidence. Like, I should have put,
you were in your bag, man. You were just like,
if you listen,
you were like emphatically like Minnesota's winning this game.
I told you. I said it on Twitter. I put it out there.
You said Sharpie. Was
I wrong?
No,
I'm telling you, man.
Not.
I am so in on this PJ Fleck boat. He is the captain. I am first mate, my guy. Oh, I'm in.
Yeah.
So I get the point on that one. Next up, we had Baylor TCU. The game ended 29-23, but that's because it took 3 overtimes. This game was 9-9 going into overtime.
Just poetic that it
wild.
This is key, like peak Big 12 football.
Oh yeah,
9-9.
I'm talking.
Game of the century shit, right?
Game of the century. Yes, exactly. It was incredible. It was incredible to see 2 Big 12 offenses be 9-9 at the end of regulation. Baylor ends up winning the game. I didn't get to see much of the overtime because it was at the same time that LSU.
No, I didn't either.
We would be doing an injustice to say that we watched it and stuff.
I will have to say that you have to be a little concerned for Baylor at this point because
it's 2 weeks in a row.
Baylor's had 2 straight games where they have looked terrible on offense.
Granted, both the games have been on the road.
No, West Virginia was at home.
I could have sworn that was on the road.
Pretty sure it was at home because there was a whole thing about why are the Baylor students not there? I'm like, it is Halloween. I probably.
Oh yeah,
I would go to a football game, but like
that's the game when Pat McAfee said "whammy" on the broadcast as introduction.
Yep.
I remember that. There we go. Cool. Regardless, that's 2 weeks in a row that they're not really showing up to what we thought they could be, but maybe they're just plateauing. Maybe people have just started to figure them out.
Well, they're plateauing in the wrong part of the schedule.
100%, because they have Oklahoma coming up, and that's going to be a big
That's a
important
big one.
game. Yeah. So, all right. We both picked Baylor. We both got the points on that one. LSU Bama game of the century. Tyler just sat up. We both picked Alabama. It ends up being LSU winning. 46.
I don't feel bad about it.
I don't either. Winning 46-41. Neither of us get the points on that. Tyler, let's talk about this football game.
This game was incredible. So rarely do games with this much hype live up to it.
Mm-hmm.
And
it did.
It just did. And I do think that I think the game was lost for Alabama when Tua threw that pick at the end of the first half.
Yeah, which I didn't get to see. But I went back and watched it. I didn't see it live, but I went back and watched it.
Yes, but that I looked down for a second because I'm like, what? There's 30 seconds. Nothing's gonna happen, and LSU's able to take that pick and score on the next drive.
Foot on the gas.
They go up 20 points going into half.
All
and
gas,
Alabama climbs back, which all greatness. And when Tua is in the pocket, when Tua is protected in the pocket, he's the best quarterback in the country to me.
Agreed.
Joe Burrow. I'll talk about Joe Burrow in just a second, who proved a lot to a lot of people in this game. But when Tua is protected, and I would dare say healthy, which I don't really think he totally was, but when he's protected in the pocket, best quarterback in the country. But he wasn't protected enough. LSU knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
They gave up 41 points, but then they scored 46.
But we knew that this was their game plan. This is how football is moving, and this is how. That's why this.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's why 9-9 Baylor and TCU at the end of regulation was so weird. Not only because it was a Big Ten, but just because everyone is moving towards high-paced offense and all this stuff. So we knew that when LSU hired Joe Brady, who I found out today is from Broward County. I have to stand, I guess, now.
I can't believe you guys.
I don't know. I feel uncomfortable.
I will say we all need a little have a chill pill on the hype on the Joe Brady train. I've seen people be like, "What?
We need to take a chill pill."
Only, and not us, but I've heard some people be like, Joe Brady's being thrown around as potential head coach candidate, and I'm like, you guys gotta chill. He's not even calling the plays.
He's 30 years old.
He is not even. He's the passing game coordinator. Steve Ensminger is technically still calling the plays.
Right.
And when Bruce Feldman interviewed him this year, he said in the interview, "This is my first real interview. Somebody's come in and interviewed me," and I'm like, "We got. I have no clue how Joe Brady can run a program.
I don't.
Is he a great offensive mind that should be added to that should be sought after by every single team that they can? Absolutely.
Should he be an offensive coordinator at a big school? Yes, he should.
Yeah.
But I think that's where it should be.
He should keep it in the purple school and go to Washington next year. It's
Do
not
it.
Gonna happen, but, no, but let's talk about Joe Burrow.
Okay, so you want my take?
Yeah.
Last night is the night Joe Burrow won the Heisman.
I completely agree.
To me, there's no other way to put
it. Who else?
I don't see anyone else taking the reins away from him.
Because they're going to finish the regular season 12-0.
Yep.
Probably. I mean, I don't think that they lose to Texas A&M at home after what happened last year.
I don't either. And I would dare say that if they go up against Georgia, who we think is going to come out of the East, they're going to beat Georgia.
Yeah.
They're going to win the SEC.
If by some possibility, and it is still possible, if Florida is able to match up with them in the SEC championship, I think that Florida has a shot.
Yeah.
But that's because Florida has the offensive firepower to keep up, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I would probably, if LSU was favored by 2 touchdowns again, I'd be like, I get it.
Yeah. Well, that I would understand it at that point. I didn't understand 13.5 the first time around, but that's a whole other story. No, but Joe Burrow really solidified himself as the Heisman frontrunner and probably the Heisman winner. He's got a weird. He's so calm. He's so relaxed. It doesn't seem like things bother him. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Do I think he's the best quarterback in the country? I have a lot of people saying. I don't. Because like you said, I think when Tua is protected and to a foot. Let's not forget, Tua was playing on a surgically repaired ankle.
Did you see the graphic of how they do it?
It was the greatest graphic. I love that graphic. It was great.
I learned a lot.
No, and it was 10 days after a surgery, that had him immobilized. This is incredible what we saw, I love your tweet.
Tua had barely over 50% completion percentage and threw 400 yards.
It's incredible. It's incredible. And 4 touchdowns. Yes, he threw 2 bad picks. And he did have 1 fumble, which we do not get political on this show. I just want to say I don't think it was a coincidence that after they introduced the president and everyone applauded for him, an act of God happened that punished Alabama. I'm not saying things. I'm just saying
But we're not ruling it out either.
I'm not saying it happened, but I'm not saying it didn't happen.
I personally believe in some greater power in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
So when certain things happen, it could be justified within my mind.
I just can't
that there is influence.
I can't fathom Tua Tagovailoa fumbling the ball in the way that he did, untouched, the ball slipping out of his hand without divine intervention. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
No, but he had these moments where, he made a few mistakes, but he was hurt. His line wasn't doing him the best of favors, even though there were 2 or 3 times when I was worried because the pocket was collapsing, and I was like, oh, he's not going to be able to move out of the pocket because of his ankle. And this man was just boop, 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 running out, boom, dime, there he goes. It's lucky that he has the best wide receiving core in the country. As much as people want to talk about LSU's, they have a phenomenal one. As much as people want to talk about Florida's, we have a phenomenal one. As much as people want to talk about other schools in the country, that's great. The Alabama trio of receivers.
All four of those current players.
All four of those current players.
NFL receivers.
And potentially 2 or 3 first rounders in there. They're phenomenal receivers.
I would take any of their 4 in the first round.
Yep, agreed.
Agreed. So I mean, credit to LSU. Credit to Ed Orgeron and when he was hired, I really didn't think that this was going to happen.
No, man, I did not expect
and
it.
I mean, I will say, I still have to question the trajectory of LSU because they don't have anybody behind Joe Burrow.
Right, and that's the thing where, and we've had this conversation on the pod before, we've had this conversation off the pod, where it's a matter of, is Joe Burrow bringing out the best in this system because he's an elite quarterback, or is the system helping Joe Burrow elevate his game to a level that may not be sustainable at the next level? And that's a question that we have to wait. We talked about this. We settled on we're going to have to wait till next year to see what happens. But I don't see a quarterback coming in.
Unless they get a transfer.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, the thing is, do you see this happening with Miles Brennan as the quarterback? Who's the LSU backup quarterback?
I don't.
And I've seen him play a little bit.
Do you even see this?
Are they a good offense with Miles Brennan?
Do you see this happening?
Are they what they are right now? No.
No, they're not. Do you see this happening with Bo Nix?
No.
Do you see this happening with Joey Gatewood, who could potentially transfer there?
No.
Do you see this happening with let's just say something happens, Felipe Franks? Do you see this happening with him?
No.
That's the thing where, yes, I think Joe Burrow is elevating to an extent, but what's going to happen next year? And also, we're not talking much about it's working for them this year because that's the way that this team is designed, but this is not the LSU defense of old, guys. I don't fear this LSU defense as I did before. Do they have some great players in the secondary? Of course we do. Delpit is a top 10 draft pick, a top 5 draft pick even. But one player does not make a whole defense,
Yeah.
They're giving up 41 points, granted against the best quarterback in the country in our opinion, but we have to wait and see how it goes. It's going to work for them this year. We'll see how it goes long term. In the post-game press conference, Ed Orgeron was talking about this isn't a one-year thing. We're going to keep doing it again and again. We're going to keep improving and get better and get better. And I love that confidence. And what I think that does is that improves recruiting.
Recruiting is going to be stellar for LSU.
One undoubtable thing is it's easy to recruit LSU. It's easy to recruit at LSU because of the talent in Louisiana in the area. It just got easier.
Yeah,
it just got easier. Also,
Ed Orgeron should be able to get pretty much anybody he wants.
Agreed. And what happens when Joe Brady moves on? Someone offers him a coordinator position and not a passing coordinator.
Passing game coordinator.
Right.
Position.
What happens when someone offers him the offensive coordinator position? Or if a smaller school is stupid enough to give a 30-year-old a head coaching gig who hasn't had coordinator experience before. You know what I mean? What happens when money is thrown at that school? We'll see what happens.
Will Arkansas throw everything they have at Joe Brady? Yes or no?
Do you know?
They shouldn't.
They shouldn't, but they might.
They really shouldn't.
You don't think Jerry Jones is going to be there and be like, who I like? I really like that Joe Brady guy. I mean, look at that passing game. We should look into him. We should look into him. You don't think that's not going to happen? Come on.
Oh, man. I think that's already happening.
Come on, man. Anyway, much respect to LSU. Clearly, in my opinion, the best team in the country. They have 4 wins over top 10 teams. They should be ranked
top 10 teams.
They should be ranked number 1 in the country.
I agree.
They should be ranked number 1. All right,
Yeah.
that's enough about. And last thing, don't ever think that it's appropriate to ever say Nick Saban should be fired. Don't ever. Twitter. Don't even think about it.
I don't even want to talk
Write the
about this.
tweet
This
out.
is ridiculous.
Look at it. Delete Twitter, the app, and never think about that again. That's my
This makes
advice.
me remember this. I mean, like, I always have to go with this with some parts of like Gator Twitter, but this definitely makes me feel like there are people out there that don't understand football.
Oh yeah.
Or just tweet off of emotion.
Yeah.
So,
purely.
I mean, like, hey,
we know some of them. We know some of those people.
yeah. I mean, I literally was like, I saw tweets about this, about firing Nick Saban, and I was like, you know me. I think Dan Mullen is a phenomenal coach, and I want him to stay there forever.
Mm-hmm.
I would fire Dan Mullen yesterday if I got Nick Saban.
Agreed. And it's nothing against Dan. We love him.
Dan Mullen is the top 10 coach in the college football. Just so happens that Nick Saban is number one.
Yeah, and it's a clear number one.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and run through these last couple games because we got to wrap up this pod. Iowa went into Madison, Wisconsin to go ahead and play the Badgers. They end up winning that football game, losing that football game. I'm sorry, I read the score wrong. They end up losing that football game 24-22 in a close one. Tyler, I did not watch this game. I was at a housewarming party for a friend.
I watched.
There was only one game on the TV, and it was Bama LSU, so I got to watch the second half of the game, thankfully. What happened in this game? Why is this game a 2-point game? What's going on?
It wasn't really much of a 2-point game. Iowa had a chance late. They had like a 60-yard touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
But this was a real Wisconsin kind of dominated this game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It wasn't like total domination, but like I didn't really feel when I watched it live, and I kind of had it on a side screen. But then I also went back and watched some of it. I just didn't really feel like Wisconsin was going to lose.
Yeah.
It was just a Wisconsin-Iowa game. Close.
Nice.
Not a lot of offense.
Hard-nosed Big Ten football.
Yeah. And Wisconsin was a better team, so as they usually are, so they won.
Awesome. So we're just going to go ahead and speed through that one then if there's not much to talk about it. We both get the point on that one because we both picked Wisconsin. Both of us picked Bama in the last game, just so you know. None of us got the points. And in our final 5-wide game, Iowa State traveled to Norman, night game. End up losing against the Sooners. Sooners win 42-41. Tyler picked Iowa State. I picked Oklahoma. I get the point.
I was about to be so right.
Talk to me about it. What happened at the end of this game?
So livid.
What happened at the end of this game, Tyler? What happened? Tell me. I want you to hear it.
Michael Petway. So at one point, Oklahoma is up 42-21 over Iowa State. And like I had it on, I'm not going to switch it because like that was my Cyclones. Mm-hmm. But I'm kind of like, this game's not really going to be interesting.
Also, it was the best game of the slate too, of that evening slate.
Oh, absolutely. There was not even a contender. And then all of a sudden, Oklahoma forgets about the Brock-tition and lets Brock Purdy, juke their butts off.
Yeah.
And did you see the juke that he put on Pat Fields?
I did see the juke he put on Pat Fields.
Pat Fields got to retire.
He's got no ankles anymore.
No,
I heard that the ligaments
taken off the field. That's
I heard the ligaments that were in his knees are now used by Brock Purdy.
As shoelaces?
No, not as shoelaces. As the thing that you put in your football, like the football laces. Like he has a custom football where he has those ligaments made. He practices with that at home to remind himself of the life he took.
Brock Purdy.
He's really living a burdenous life. Like he has to carry the fact that he murdered someone on a football field.
Yeah, it's a reminder.
It's a reminder. Yeah, therapy, all those things.
But Brock Purdy went off in the second half of this game, and it sure helped that Jalen Hurts threw a pick at the end, going out of bounds, trying to throw it away. It bounced into the air, and then Iowa State picked it off, and Iowa State goes on the field. They score a touchdown with like 30 seconds left, and they decide to go for two. And I'm usually in favor of this.
I was going to say, I respect this. I'm in
favor of this because you're on the road. Yeah, Iowa State is good enough, and the momentum was on their side. But again, it's one of those things where, first of all, math, you basically have a 50-50 shot to win right there. When are you going to get that?
Yeah.
And on top of that, when you're the less talented team, it's usually mathematically within your favor to go for the win.
Yeah. It reminds me before you get into the play of when Kansas went on the road against Texas, and I was watching the documentary on ESPN Plus, and they get to that point where they were like, "Do we go for two?" And their coordinator said, to Les Miles, they're like, we came here to win. And Les goes, you're right. Let's win the football game right now. Let's go. And they go out there and they get the 2 point. Unfortunately, Sam Ehlinger let it drive and Dicker, the kicker, ends up making it. But it's that kind of mentality where you're on the road, you might as well go for it, right?
Yeah. You're less talented, you're on the road, you're in Norman at night. Like,
talk to me about the play.
Yeah, so Brock Purdy is doing that thing that he does where he takes the ball and he backpedals. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, quarterbacks aren't supposed to throw this well when they backpedal, but Brock Purdy just can do it. Man can do no wrong in my eyes.
You know who does that really well?
Who?
Or used to do that really well? Tom Brady. Tom Brady used to backpedal and it used to piss me off so much because I was like, why are you throwing? You're not set. What is
no one else is supposed to be able to do this?
If any person in the country, any high school kid or other college kid does this in the country, their coach is going to eat them out. But here you are backpedaling and scoring on that drive, and apparently Brock Purdy has that ability as well.
Well, yeah, but in this particular case, he throws the ball to LaMichael Petway in the end zone for the 2 point. First of all, there was a wide open Charlie Kohler on the other side of the end zone that has got to haunt him forever. But I wouldn't feel bad about it as much because LaMichael Petway has the ball in his hands. He's caught it. Mm-hmm. And then he bobbles it on his way to the ground, and it goes back up in the air, and it falls into the hands of Parnell Motley, and Oklahoma gets a pick. Not that it matters. They just needed him to not catch it.
Right.
And they win the game, 42-41. Which, by the way, Oklahoma, are you trying to not make the playoff?
Oklahoma's really, really out here. Lincoln Riley's really just trying to get out to the NFL, isn't he? It seems like.
I mean, a little.
Lincoln Riley's like, if I'm leaving, I'm burning this place to the ground as I exit.
He's like, Matt, I was trying to let you win. I was trying to get you a win.
Matt, this was the symbolic passing of the reins in the Big 12, and you messed it up. You fumbled the bag. I cannot believe you did that.
Which, for real, if Matt Campbell stays another year at Iowa State, and Brock Purdy's a junior, and their running back, Breece Hall, is a freshman right now.
And he's good. And
their offense is so good.
It's clicking. Their defense, it's clicking in Iowa State. It's clicking, man.
And if they can stay... I mean, I'm telling you right now, they're going to beat Texas.
I think so. The way Texas played this past week. I'll think about it more
as we go on, but they're going to beat Texas.
Yeah, I agree.
Nothing I saw that I was like, oh yeah, that's going to be tough for them. No, they're going to beat Texas.
All right. All right, Tyler.
I'm livid at this one particular play.
And understandably so.
I feel validated in everything that happened in this game, except for the last play.
It understandably so, because in this week's 5 Wide, you only got 2 of your 5 potential points. I got 4 of the 5 potential points. But wait, Tyler, there's more. Let's go ahead and talk about our 2-point conversion attempts. Tyler, you picked Wake Forest to beat Virginia Tech. I'd like to ask you, Tyler, how did that go for you? Go for you, huh? See what I did? Go for you?
Hate the ACC.
It's the Devil's Conference
so much. Nothing that happens in this conference makes any sense. Wake Forest lost to Virginia Tech 36-17, which I guess I should have saw coming for some reason. Because Wake Forest, as good as they can be, they're probably not going to finish better than 9-3.
Yeah.
Bored.
So who's going to the Orange Bowl? Is it still Wake Forest?
It's probably still Wake Forest. I swear to the Lord in heaven, if Miami pulls this stuff together and makes it to the Orange Bowl, and plays Florida, I'm going to blow a gasket.
I mean, I'll probably go to the game if that happens.
I mean, it'd be a funny bookend to a season that never happens.
Uh-huh.
That kind of stuff never happens, that you'd be able to bookend the season. I mean, with the same team, but no. Wake Forest is probably still going to the Orange Bowl.
All right.
Because what other ACC team has only 2 losses?
Are you going to make me pull up the ACC
standings? You don't have to do that.
No, now I have to. Because I said it on the air, and so now our listeners are expecting me to pull up the ACC standings, and I have to go through it and see exactly.
I hate that I'm about to have to listen to this.
All right. The Atlantic Coast Conference. Win-loss. All right. Conference games. Here we go. Excluding Clemson. Virginia is 7-3. Wake Forest is 7-2. Virginia's 5-2 in the conference. Wake Forest is 3-2 in the conference. And like you said, Wake Forest is gonna lose to Clemson.
Yeah, but Virginia's probably going to lose to Clemson in the championship game too. So,
But do you?
But is making the championship game good enough?
This is the ACC we're talking about here.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. Why are we thinking of? Why are we?
I don't know
talking
why.
about
I don't know.
this?
We're
like,
wasting
let's
our
just
time.
move on. Like,
Let's move on to other
lost.
games that matter, like my 2-point conversion, which was the Shula Bowl.
I'm
FAU.
still mad that
FIU,
I let you do this.
37-7. I get the 2 points, and it would have been 37-0 if it wasn't for one long 70-something yard touchdown run for FIU. Which you texted me about going, yeah, let's go, and I was like, oh boy.
The game was still 10-7 at this point. So.
I know, and we were both a little under the influence of liquid courage.
I like to call it distracted.
Distracted by both liquid courage and people. So we were both, in a different mindset. I checked an hour later, and I look at my phone, and I was like, oh, we won by like 30. Oh, we're good. I'm like, we're good. I'm all good. That ain't no problem. That ain't no problem. Oh, my gosh. Tyler, let's go ahead and count up these scores, okay? Sergio this week, or Tyler gets 2 points this week out of a potential
grand
7.
Old 2 points.
Out of a potential 7.
2 points that Iowa State couldn't apparently get.
And out of a potential 7, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of a potential 7. Tyler, the total to date, Tyler K. Williams, 46. Sergio de la Espriella, 47. Goddamn 47. You love it. You love to see it. It's my favorite activity of the week.
Trash, you finally came back and have a 1-point lead over me.
I wasn't talking trash. I was speaking things into existence.
Yeah,
the
problem is that it took you 4 weeks to do that. I don't have that much time. I gotta
slow and steady wins the race, my boy. Slow and steady wins the race.
What's happening? It's actually funny. This is almost the exact same score. You're Kansas. You just went for the win right there. I got Dicker the kicker. I got Sam Ehlinger. I'm gonna drive down the field. And I'm gonna kick that game-winning field goal.
This, sir, is when you don't expect me to go for the onside kick, which I will do, and recover. And I will hold on to this lead.
Up 14-0 in the first quarter.
In the first quarter, yeah.
Like they needed to beat Maryland by any more.
I know. They were really just being rude. So yeah, that's our total to date. We will pick next week. We're still good with finishing after conference championship game?
Sure.
Okay. All right. I want to let you know. I need to make sure you have enough time to come back, Tyler.
Yeah. I mean, no, that's fine. No, it's very considerate of you.
I'm going to look back on this weekend very fondly at the end of the season. I just want to point out.
I'm going to look back on this weekend and laugh because it gave you just a little bit of self-confidence, just a little bit of confidence in yourself.
You know who's going to look back? You know who's going to look back at this weekend and both laugh and smile?
Who?
Any listener that goes and emails us at sidelinejudgment@gmail.com and can drop a bag. Any of those, they're just going to love it. I mean, we'll do whatever, maybe even offer to you pick some games a week,
Yeah, I will straight up, I'll do what the Dolphins apparently can't do. I'll tank my picks for the rest of the year.
Why are you doing this to me? Is this what love looks like? I thought friendship was better than this. You understand how traumatized I am from this organization over the course of my life. This is the most toxic relationship in my life, Tyler. You're going to throw it in my face like that? I can't with you. We're moving on. Drop a bag, ladies and gentlemen. Drop a bag. Sidelinejudgment@gmail.com. We'll do literally anything you want. You want to have me watch every Dolphin game
like Miami's picks are dropping.
Oof. Bang. Pow, pow, pow. Shots fired. All right, Tyler. Our official moment of the week, as always. Mine is going to be what happened last night. I had a great time last night. A friend, coworker, I was mingling with people. It was nice to see. I'm still relatively new in the area. I met some people. I get there, and I wasn't expecting there to be a football game on, in particular the game of the century, Alabama LSU. And it was on, and there were 2 other guys that were standing there just watching it with their beers, and I was like, yes, let me join and stand next to you guys and go ahead and watch this football game. And it was great. It was wonderful. It was just a good time, a good party. There was Pong that was played. It was nice. It was a wonderful time. I had a great time. It was nice to socialize again like that. Hadn't done that since.
That's awesome.
Since we went to the Auburn game, but hadn't done that outside of Gainesville in a while.
Yeah.
So yeah. What about you? What was your moment?
What?
What about you? What was your moment of the week?
My moment of the week is bringing it full circle. We're going back to Florida Gators.
Bring it back, baby.
This week, Florida announced 2 more non-conference series in the near future. So let me between Cal and Arizona State. So Gators going out west, baby. Let me run you through the non-conference schedule for like the next 10 years.
Give it to me.
So starting in 2022, so in 2 years. Sorry, no, in 3 years. We get Utah at home, 2023 at Utah.
That's so close? I thought it was further.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So 2020 will be the next year, and then there's 2021. Those are the last 2 years that we're going to have cupcakes, really, to start the season. And then 2022, we start going Utah at home in 2022. In 2023, at Utah. In 2024, Miami at home. 2025 at Miami.
I love that because that Miami home and home rivalry, it was cool to be neutral site at the beginning of the year, but have Miami come to the Swamp and have Miami go down to play at Hard Rock. That's going to be cool environments.
It's been good. 2026, Cal at home. The Cal Golden Bears. And then 2027 at the Cal Golden Bears.
Love it.
All right, now 2028 is where things we got Colorado Buffaloes at home and then at Arizona State.
Okay, out to Tempe. Okay.
Yeah. And then 2029 we have at Colorado. 2030 is Texas at home. And then 2031 is at Texas and Arizona State in the Swamp.
I love it.
And reminder, Gators will also play FSU all those years. I've checked. They do, in my opinion, balance out to if you have the home game, we're going to Florida State. If you have, and the like.
That's just smart scheduling.
Yeah,
that's just smart scheduling. We believe in our AD. Way to go, Scotty boy.
Scott Strickland for the win.
Also, USF is sprinkled in there. In those years.
I completely forgot about that. Yeah, USF is sprinkled.
USF is sprinkled in there, which is good. It's a 2-for-1.
UCF is.
I bet you they are.
Regretting not doing that now because we ain't got no room left on the schedule.
I know. We got to play some other people.
So which one of these 10 years do you think Dan Mullen's going to win a national championship?
What's the year that we play Cal?
We play 2026 Cal at home and 2027 at Cal.
Which is the year that we have 2 non-conference?
2028.
Which is who?
Colorado at home and at Arizona State.
That's the year.
2028?
Yeah, that's the year.
All right. In 9 seasons.
In 9 seasons, that'll be his 3rd natty. That'll be his 3rd national.
He'll still be here.
Yeah, he'll be here. All right. Awesome. I love that. What an optimistic way to end the pod. I love it, Tyler. I love it.
Makes me happy looking at it.
I know. Hey, so just so you know, right? This episode is going to be published tomorrow, or for you guys, listeners, it'll be published today, Monday. It is Veterans Day. We want to wish every single veteran out there a wonderful Veterans Day. Thank you so much for all the service you do for our country, keeping us safe at home and abroad. We really appreciate all of that. If you're in need, make sure you look into your local VA. They always need help. Veterans come home every single day and are not provided the proper mental health treatment, physical health treatment, and funding the VA is one of the, if not the most important things for veterans returning home that need the help. And I think, personally, if you are willing to go overseas and protect us, the least that we can do is provide you the services that you need when you come home and need our help. We've had your help. Now you need our help. So look into your local VA, donate and all that stuff to those organizations. A very happy Veterans Day to all. Hope you're listening.
Veterans Day.
Yes.
Thank you for all that you do.
We really, really appreciate. And with that being said, Tyler, we'll be back on Wednesday where we will be previewing next week. We will talk about the Missouri game, of course. Talk about if Kelly Bryant is going to make an appearance. We hope. I hope he's healthy because you want to play someone at their full strength.
You want to play a challenge.
Exactly. And we will talk about the shakeup in the college football playoff rankings because already a top 4 team has gone down. How high?
Two top 4 teams
have gone down. I apologize. How high up should Minnesota jump? Will LSU be rightfully...
Put them at 4, cowards.
Will LSU rightfully be the number 1 team in the country? And how does that affect the Gators? Are we going to slip back simply because of how people need to move? Are we going to move up? Or are we going to stay the same? Interesting to know. Interesting to find out. Also, App State beat South Carolina. We didn't even talk about that.
Oh my God, I forgot.
App State beat South Carolina.
Will Muschamp
did the thing. Missed a wide open. Helinski missed a wide open receiver to end the game to lose it. But that's another wrench thrown into the Group of 5 conversation. So we will see and talk about all of those things on Wednesday's pod.
Will Muschamp survive the season?
Will Muschamp survive the season? We'll have to find that out on Wednesday. We'll talk about that
Yes,
and see
sir.
if we will.
Rate, review, subscribe.
Rate, review, subscribe. We are on Apple Podcasts. We are on Spotify. We are on YouTube. Subscribe to all those outlets. Leave us a comment, review, 5 stars. Let us know this show is horrible. So long as it says 5 stars, I frankly don't care.
You can say whatever you want.
You can
Just
say
put the
whatever
5
you
star
want.
thing.
Give us your hottest takes. We'll try to work them in.
Ask us questions. We'll try to answer them.
We'll do all that kind of stuff. Make sure you like, review, subscribe. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Without further ado, Tyler, it has been wonderful talking to you today. There is not much left to say except that this is another episode of Sideline Judgment. My name is Sergio.
My name is Tyler.
We are not biased, but Go Gators.
Dale.